All right. Here's what I'd like to do before we get started. And today's going to be mainly us just role playing, just practicing having conversations with sellers, what that looks like, how to um, dig below the surface to get to like the true motivation. Because the only way that you're able to really build value, right? We're not gonna the value that we bring as investors is not paying the highest price most of the time or giving the best terms, right? In this case. So what is the value? I think that's kind of the point of learning how to have these conversations to figure that out. Because if the seller can't tell you that, I can almost guarantee you that it's probably not there, or you're not going to be able to explain it, right? You're not going to have that belief that you're actually helping these people. So that's what our goal is today. Let's share at least one or two wins from this week. Maybe it could be something that happened in real estate, something that you're thankful for, or it could just be a small little personal win. Need one or two before we get started. Who's going to be bold today?
I guess I can start.
Let's go.
Hi. Glad to have met you at that meetup. This is great.
Me too. Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, we explored a market that we were considering investing in, and we made a road trip. We spent some time there. We got clarity that that wasn't the market for us right now. And
Yeah,
it brought us back to center and back to staying focused where our strategy is already existing,
it's a
rather than
huge win.
diluting things.
That is a huge win. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Sometimes, like, I was talking about that with my team this morning. It's like sometimes just cutting things down, like trimming the branches, that can be like the best thing you can do. Yeah, that's awesome. Anyone else have anything? Going once. All right. Sold. Man, y'all need to get some positivity in your life, huh? All right. Um, so before we get started in this, I want to share kind of a couple things that I want to emphasize today that I think would be the most helpful, especially if you're like just getting started, or maybe you've been doing this a long time and you just want to like think of some ways to kind of sharpen your axe, right? So to speak. So when you're having conversations with sellers, it's super important to clarify what people mean when they say certain things. Okay. Because there's going to be things that people say that are going to be to you, they may seem really apparent as to why this is a painful thing for them, whatever it is. But the problem is we all experience um, things differently, right? Like for me, let's say I I pour this, I'm drinking this coffee and it's hot and I spill it all over myself, right? Today. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that sucks. I burned myself, right? Maybe I have like a traumatic experience with coffee. So if Alex and I go get coffee, I'm like, what do you think about coffee? Alex may just think, oh, everyone loves coffee because he likes coffee. But I hate it because it burned me, right? So it's kind of the same thing. We got to figure out like what does it mean to them first. So clarify that. The second thing is we need to figure out how these painful things are impacting them in their daily life and what getting rid of that would do for them. Like, what is the ultimate goal that they're trying to get to, right? Before we ever talk about numbers and all that kind of stuff, we just get into that stuff too quick. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a deal. This was, when was this? On Thursday or Friday, where team member Griffin on our team brought the deal and he said, hey, this guy um, wants roughly 110, $120,000, right? Cash in his pocket at the closing. And he said, that's pretty much where he's at. So I said, okay, let's just hop on a call. So we talked to him. For 20 minutes, I talked to this guy. I don't mention a number. I'm just asking him, what is it that has you wanting to work with an investor, maybe? Why not just list this with a realtor? What do you not like about that process? Oh, so you're wanting to do this. Oh, okay, so what would this do for you? But I guess not having this sold, like, how has that been impacting you guys? Asking him questions that actually mean something to him versus a dollar. By the end of the call, he's at $20,000 walk away. And that's like I don't know a better example to give you than something that happened last week, just by digging in. So what was the problem on the front end? We aren't digging in. And if we're not digging in enough, there's no value that they can see, right? Money is just exchanged for value, right? It's just the way that we determine what that is. And so if they don't see us, if we can't build this gap over time, then they're just going to stick to their number. I just want my number. You're not bringing any value. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So kind of basic framework I want us to go through today is starting off the conversation by just asking, hey, Alex, maybe like just tell me a little bit about the house and just kind of what you got going on with it. Like, let's just keep it super simple. And then let me talk. I'm going to talk. I want you to kind of clarify some ways we can ask that. I'll give you a couple examples. Like if I say, oh man, things have been stressful, you can either one kind of repeat back to them, be like stressful, like get them to open it up. It kind of allows a space for them to see that maybe you're confused by what they said or don't completely understand, right? Or you can just say, oh, just so I have some context, like how do you mean by stressful? Or what does stressful mean to you? What does that look like? Those are different ways to ask the same question, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is let's try to practice not chasing, but slightly pushing away. Honestly, Alex, like for you, I know like you're wanting $100,000. I mean, you might be better off just listening with a realtor. I mean, that's where you're going to make the most money. Like, why not just go do that? Right? Okay, that's what I want to emphasize. Asking about the house, what their situation, what they got going on with it. Two, we probably want to talk like slightly on condition. Like, tell me about the house. Like, are there any kind of repairs or updates? Three, ask them when they want to close. Like, when's a good timeline? And maybe like, is there a reason why that's important to you? Right? And then four, let's keep it simple and let's just ask what price do you want for now? Usually we like to separate and we talk about like their walk away money, like how much do you want to walk away with at closing? Because it means a little more than a purchase price. But to keep this call easy, let's the purchase price. Okay. Who wants to go first? We'll keep it fun, keep it light. There's no losing on this. There's only just improving.
Well, I guess I can go first.
Let's do it, dude. The bold one. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Is there anything specifically you've been trying to work on? Like any type of seller that you struggle with or like
Well, maybe we can maybe we can try a guy that I spoke with last week. Um,
okay.
yeah, so do you want me to like give you any of the background or should we just go into it?
Yeah, you can just give me some context and maybe how you want me to respond or act. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So this guy's situation, he's got a foreclosure. I got got a hold of him last week and the foreclosure is this week. And he's got three liens on his property. So he's got two mortgages plus a HELOC. And he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy a couple years ago. And then that
Okay.
process was completed. But when he was going through it, he quit paying the HELOC. So he hadn't made any payments on that for like 2 years. And now
Okay.
they're calling it due, the HELOC. He had to get,
Okay.
I think, 28,000 to reinstate it, and the total balance of all three of those liens is pretty close to the ARV on his house. So assuming it's in, you know, marketable condition, if he were to sell it, he would walk away with nothing.
Okay.
So it's yeah, pretty tight situation. I don't know if there's anything that I really could have, done, uh, but just kind of curious to see. He said that he was investigating Chapter 13, and I recommended that he continue with that approach.
Okay. Got it.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, let's go through it and let's act like maybe there's some equity here to give me 5 grand or something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Just to make it easy. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Hello.
Sorry. Which role are we each doing?
Yeah. I'll be the seller. I'll be the one you just recommended.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hello.
Hi, Evan. My name's Alex. I'm a real estate investor, and hey, I'm just reaching out regarding your property on Main Street. Do you have a couple minutes to chat?
For sure. Yeah, I know we had talked a little bit
Yeah,
last week and just kind of booked up a follow time. So yeah, this is fine.
great. Hey, yeah, so I had a notice come across my desk. We had talked about, looks like your lender's moving forward with foreclosure. So just to give you a little bit of background myself, I work with people who are in that situation. Just want to learn a little bit about what's going on and try to offer support as best as I can to help you keep your property, or at least just navigate the situation. So what I was wanting to learn is, a little bit about the details on your situation, and then what will be your ideal preferred outcome for this foreclosure.
Do you mind if we just talk like let's act like I'm ready to sell?
Oh, okay, sure.
Could we do that? Could we start there
Yeah,
where it's like I'm ready to sell? Yeah, Alex, I'm definitely open to selling the property. I
great.
think that'll apply to more people.
Okay, yep. Okay, so I know that you're moving forward with, or that your lender's trying to foreclose on you. Can you fill me in with some of the details on, you know, how much? Gosh, what's a question I'm looking for right now?
Maybe,
Sorry,
hey,
I'm,
just tell
I'm
me a little bit
battling
about
a
the
cold this
property.
week, and my mind is not working
No, you're good.
right.
You're good.
Sorry.
Yeah, tell me about the property and just kind of what you
Yeah.
got going on with it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, why don't you tell me a little bit about the property? How big is it? How old is it? Is it running any maintenance that you've done in the past couple of years?
Um, the property itself, I mean, it's 3 bedroom, 2 bath, like brick house. I've lived here for 10 years,
Okay.
me and my family. And I don't know, man. I think it's a nice house. I think it's clean. I mean, it could use some work for sure. But I mean, it's definitely not like a tear down or anything like that. And I don't know. I think it's just kind of time for us to probably move on.
Okay. When you say it's time to move on, is there any particular reason why you feel like now is the right time?
Well, I mean, I think it's just that I mean, we've been fighting a long time to I mean, the last probably, I mean, I couldn't even tell you, but like to try to afford these payments. And I just think at some point, like, I think I'm a reasonable person, right? And I think like reasonable people should look at their life and look at like the payments coming in and be like, well, like, can I really afford this? And I'm just not sure we can. But I also don't want to lose everything, you know? Like, I'm
Yeah.
worried about that, but that's just kind of where we're at. But the problem is like I don't know where we're gonna go. It's just like it's just been a lot of uncertainty.
Okay. What is this uncertainty doing to you and your family?
What do you mean?
Well, you said that you got a lot of uncertainty in terms of where you would go. Obviously, you've been struggling to make ends meet. So what is the toll that that's taking on you and your family?
Mhm. How do you think that question would be perceived this early in the conversation?
Mm, maybe like a little
What else
bit
could we ask?
too aggressive.
Maybe just a little too soon.
Okay.
I agree with you. Did you feel that at all or no?
I mean, I didn't, but
Okay.
yeah,
And maybe I'm wrong. It depends on the person, I guess.
yeah.
Like some people are more open.
Well, you've had
What's
this conversation
something,
more than I have, so I
well,
trust
but
your judgment.
that's okay.
Yeah.
What's something we could ask about the uncertainty?
Maybe like how long have you been feeling uncertain, or is there any particular particular
Hmm.
reason why you're feeling uncertain?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I know you mentioned like wanting to move, like maybe being
Mhm.
uncertain about like where you're gonna go. Like what else is kind of playing a role in that uncertainty? Or what else is
Yeah.
contributing to that? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's back. Let's rewind. Okay. So you're feeling a little bit uncertain about where you would move if you were to sell. Is there anything
Yeah.
else that kind of gives you a sense of uncertainty?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mainly just like honestly, like, am I making the right decision? Like that's kind of a big thing for me. Like, am I mean, I feel like I don't want to necessarily just give away the house, you know? It's like I know we only have foreclosures let's just say next week, foreclosures next week on
Hmm.
Friday, but it's like I don't know. I guess I just don't want to make the wrong decision.
Um, is there anything in particular, about selling that feels like it would be the wrong decision.
Hmm. I think just if I was just giving it away, probably.
Okay.
Because I put a lot of
Uh,
time into this house and money, and I feel like I
yeah.
deserve to make something for it.
Okay. When you say giving it away, what specifically do you mean by that?
Well, like I've had some investors like just like lowball me, like they'll come in and they'll be like, oh, like I'll give you this or I'll give you that. And it's like I just don't want to play that game.
Okay. What, and is that just because, obviously you lived in the house for many years? I assume you've done, maintenance or upgrades on it. And obviously you've been paying the mortgage for many years, so you don't want to
Yeah.
just walk away with, little or no money and at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
dude.
Okay.
Living here 10 years, it's like I come on now. It's like I'm just gonna like make nothing, you
Okay.
know?
Now, would this be a good time to just like highlight if you were to go through or if the bank were to move forward with the foreclosure that you're walking away with nothing anyways? So, you know,
I
kind of showing the highlight or showing the benefit of selling even if you don't get much money.
maybe so. My
Okay.
temptation would be like, yeah, dude, investors, trust me, ask me how I know how they'll lowball you. Like I get calls all the time on that. Like I would just connect with them. Like what were they offering you?
Okay.
Where were they coming in at? I want to get data first.
Okay. All right. So you said you've been on the phone with a couple of other investors who just like lowballed you.
Yeah, totally.
Just out of curiosity, what were they offering?
They were like one of them was at like 100, another one was at like 90, and I'm like, this house is worth at least $200,000. So
Okay.
I don't understand why they're coming at that number, but that's where they are, and it's like that's just unacceptable.
Okay. And then what's the balance on your mortgage?
The balance is 100 on Buda.
The balance is 100,000. Okay. So, with these offers, you basically, you probably have to cut a check at the closing table because their offer is less
Right.
than the outstanding balance.
Yeah,
So
that's
why
so
would you even
stupid.
do that? Okay.
I can't.
So if we could come to an arrangement where you could sell the house and avoid the foreclosure and not have to cut a check at the closing table, do you feel like that's something that would at least give you a sense of stability, or just kind of like make you feel better about this whole process?
Well, like how much money are we talking, I guess? Because like I mean I hear you, like yes, that would help, like, but like
Mhm.
I just don't like how much are you offering, I guess?
Well, I don't have a particular number in mind. I guess I'd want to know a little bit more about the condition of the home
Hmm.
before I really feel comfortable. But just let me ask you: do you have a particular number in mind if I were to get you X number of dollars in your pocket at the closing table, where you would say like, okay, yeah, I can feel comfortable with that.
Really good job. So notice what he did there. Like he did a incredible job. If I asked him what's your offer, he said, I really don't have a particular number in mind. Like I needed a little bit more about the property, puts it on him. Only thing I would change and say, and instead of saying, do you have a particular, just say, ask for their number, basically.
Okay. Oh,
Because if you
so
say,
I'd
do
say
you, it allows them to say, what? No, I actually don't have a number.
okay. So yeah, so plays it to them a little bit more direct to say, how much would you need to feel comfortable walking away
Yes,
with? Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Um, Ask me how I know that, by the way. Um, over and over and over, by the
Yeah.
way. That happens a lot with our team when we do call recordings.
Hmm.
They'll ask like a, do you have this or
Yeah.
do you have any idea about this? And they all almost every single time they're going to take the out
Okay.
because they want you to make the offer first.
Yeah. So be more direct
So
with those questions.
I like what you asked. How much
Yeah.
are you needing? I mean, I'd probably need. I think if I could walk away with like 20,000, probably at least. I mean, that gives you enough room to make money, and then we can both go our separate ways and be happy.
Okay. So $20,000.
Yeah, 20.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, how did you arrive at that value?
Well, I mean, I feel like the house is worth 200. Like it needs probably 40, 50 grand in work. It's like if you buy it for 120, you give me 20 grand in my pocket, then it's like you make your spread of 10, 15 grand, something like that.
Okay. Would you fill me in a little bit on what work needs to be done in the house?
Blah 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 blah, and the roof and the HVAC and blah blah blah. But it's about $50,000.
Okay. All right. Let's assume for the purpose of this conversation that's accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at from my perspective, I respect you wanting to, walk away with $20,000. And I want to get you the most money that I can. But just based on the amount of work that I would need to put into the house in order to get it, marketable and be able to sell it, and make even a little bit of profit. I can't be that high. Um, and considering that there's a foreclosure next week, and if your lender moves forward with the foreclosure, you would lose a home, you would get no money, and that would sit on your record for 7 years. Um, do you think that you can work with me to facilitate a sale where you don't walk away with 20,000 in your pocket, but you're protected from the foreclosure and you get something?
Mm. I mean, I'm negotiable. I mean, I think I could work a little bit on the 20, but like, where are you needing at?
So I would need to be at about 5,000.
5,000. I think that's too low, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't really phrase that last sentence very well. I
You want
don't
to try
think
again?
that really, yeah,
This is great, dude. Really
yeah.
good job.
Thanks. Okay, so considering that, you know, you sell the house to us, you avoid the foreclosure, and then we'll take care of all the maintenance that needs to be done. So, roof, HVAC, plumbing, take care of all that. Is
Yeah.
20,000 the least that you would take?
No, no. I mean, it's not the least I would take. It's just kind of a starting point.
Okay. And when you do get paid at the end of this deal, when this deal closes, what would you use that what would you use that money for?
Uh, I don't know. Why does that, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, you mentioned earlier that you just had some uncertainty about where you would
Mhm.
live next in the event that you were to sell.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see, like, are you needing moving costs, first and last month's rent, something along those lines.
Gotcha. That makes sense. It's a good response. How do we avoid that response in the first place?
By being a little smoother.
Well, what does that look like practically, you think?
um,
How do we ask what they're going to do with the money or how the money's going to help them without being that direct about it?
mhm,
We can change our tone, how we
yeah,
ask it.
mhm,
We can also change how we ask it with our
yeah.
words, right? Anyone have any recommendations? I'd like to hear some other people's thoughts on this real quick. How else could you ask this? Because Alex is doing a good job of this is good to figure out what this is going to do for them. How do we ask this?
What if I said, like, okay, so we come to an agreement, we stop the foreclosure, and we get some money in your pocket. How does that impact, your life moving forward, say over the next 3 to 6 months? What sort of a difference does that make for you on
Yeah,
your
that's a good question. What kind of difference does that make?
yeah.
I also like asking, I like that a lot actually. Or you could even ask, So let's say we're able to stop the foreclosure. We're able to get you the amount of cash that you need to be able to move on and like really have a reset here. Like I guess like that cash that you get at closing, like how do you see that like I guess how do you see that benefiting you guys the most though? That's I would ask something like that
Okay.
and just
Yeah.
see what they say. So let's
Okay.
just say you ask that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that it would give me enough money to be able to move on, first last month's rent, which I don't have that money now. And it would just give me some cushion, honestly, like just to be able to kind of breathe for a second, like just relax. Like I've been working for like so hard for like I said, the last year just to try to like keep my head above water. So just I think that would help a lot.
Okay. So you'd have, a bit of a cushion, a bit of a safety net that you just haven't
Hmm.
really had for, what, at least a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel like that would impact you, just having that safety net for the first time in, a year or longer? What sort of a difference would it make for you, and for your family?
I love that. I think that's a great question. And one thing you can do to make that even a little bit better is to
Hmm.
use and this is a key point here. Oh, if you're taking notes, like take this away from the call. The reason why we clarify what people mean when they say certain things is number one, so they tell us. Number two, they tell themselves. And number three, we're gathering information not to use as ammo against somebody. That's not what we're trying to do, right? That's why I try not to do the whole, well, if you do this, if you sell to me, then I mean, think about it. Like you're not going to have the record on 7 years. You're not going to do that. It's like they never said those things. And so it's like we're almost like putting things on them that like it almost feels like an attack, I think, to some people,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like this guy's trying to like make me feel worse about my situation or like make me look, I don't know, helpless almost. Like these
Yeah.
people feel helpless already. Like they don't
Yeah.
need to feel more helpless.
Yeah.
So what we can do though is use the word. So what are some of the things that I said just now? Does anybody remember what I said about the last year, what's been happening and what this would do for me?
You've been working really hard. You've been struggling to keep your head above water.
Yes. Keeping your head above water is a huge phrase.
Hmm. Is that
What
one that you
else?
hear a lot?
Yeah.
Some variation? Okay.
Hmm. And I said, so I can what? So I can finally breathe.
Breathe. Yeah.
I know this sounds like silly, like to some of y'all, but like if you use the words that people tell you, it shows that you're listening and
Hmm.
it hits them differently because it's the words that they used. So obviously they feel some way about that word. Some
Hmm.
in some in some capacity, that word describes how they feel. Otherwise, they wouldn't have used the word. So maybe use their word. That's what I would recommend.
Okay.
So some variation. You want to try?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's say that we were to come to an agreement and, we could get some money in your pocket. Um, you know, how would that help you just be able to breathe or just keep your head above water?
Yeah, maybe try this framework if this is
Yeah.
okay. Try this is why Alex has gotten so much better at conversation because he just is like soaks it up and like the next time gets it right every time. So, and I don't have all the answers either. I could be totally wrong. I'm just telling you what I've done and it's worked for us so far. So I would say something like, okay, so let's say we're able to again, we don't want to promise anything. Like we're gonna be
Hmm.
able to do this, right? It's like
Yeah.
that's no. So Alex, let's say we're able to have an agreement in place, right? We get you the cash that you need, whatever that number is, right? And
Hmm.
we're just having a normal conversation, like, whatever it is. And then we're able to get the foreclosure stopped so you don't have to worry about that, right? And, let's say we help you move on. So you're able to finally not feel like you're having to fight to tread water and keep your head above water, right? And you can actually like take a breath for a second. Like I guess like being able to get that cash and do that. I guess what do you feel like that would do for y'all or even you personally?
Okay.
That's like more of the question. I know
Okay.
that's kind of long-winded, but notice like You could shorten that up for sure to make it better, but that's a general idea. And notice how I'm pausing.
Mhm.
Where did I pause?
Just for emphasis, to let these individual, let's call them value points, let these value
Yes.
points just kind of, soak in.
Yeah. Like if I asked Alex and I said, okay, so like being able to stop the foreclosure and the sale, like what do you think that would do for y'all personally?
It
I
stop
mean,
the
it'd be good.
foreclosure. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Do any of y'all ever get responses like that on your calls? Or am I the only one that's gotten that before? Yeah, it'd be
I've
good.
gotten
Yeah, I mean that would help for sure.
it.
Yeah, it'd help.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So let's try that again. So let's say we're able to come to an agreement. We get some cash in your pocket. We stop the foreclosure sale and help you move on, help you move forward,
Yeah.
and just help you get to a position where you're no longer fighting to keep your head above water. How do you think that that would feel?
Oh, dude. It'd feel incredible.
Yeah.
Like in what way though?
Yeah, well, paint a picture for me. Let's say we're 3 months down the road. What would your life look like with that breathing room?
Yeah.
You're not having to fight to keep your head above water, and this whole situation is in the rearview mirror.
Man, I mean it's almost hard to imagine because I haven't had that in so long.
Yeah,
It's like, but I mean I still got some things I gotta work on, get my credit right and all that stuff, but like maybe life changing
yeah. Do you think it's time to maybe consider at least making a change?
for sure.
Okay.
Has Alex
So,
built value now?
mhm.
Yes. So now what do we do now? This is
Now
where we circle back.
yep. Okay.
Okay, so knowing we could do those things.
All right.
Yeah.
So knowing we can do those things, is 20,000 the least that you would take?
Look, I know you wanted five. If you can get this done for me, I'll do it 7,500 bucks right now.
7,500?
And let's just say that's agreeable.
All right.
Cool.
I
Alex,
think I can make
great
that
job.
work. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Incredible job, dude.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any feedback for Alex or this call or like takeaways? Like I really wanted to go in depth there. That's why I stopped it a lot, but hopefully that was helpful.
That was super helpful. I especially like the last one. Paint a picture of your life a year down the road. What does it look like in the rearview mirror?
It's a great question, Alex.
Thank
I
you.
need to ask that more. I don't ask that enough.
I didn't come up with it myself, so feel free to use it.
It's good.
Trademark it. Love it. Thank you, Joanna. Appreciate it. Anyone else that's been listening in have any feedback or things that you took away from that you could use in your own calls? There was a lot there.
No, I was gonna say you did a good job, Alice. There was a couple things in there, but I can't remember. I'm so distracted right now with work and everything. But um, I hate to be over here just silent. So I did want to say good job, and I'm
No, dude,
definitely
thanks
gonna
for being
try
on the
to.
call, man. We're happy that you're here.
Yeah,
You can, even if you're at work or whatever, like we're just glad you're here. It's awesome.
Yep.
yeah,
Appreciate it, Cody.
yeah. No problem. I'm gonna implement some of the stuff you said and did.
Love it, dude. Anything else?
I'm out here working too, but I wanted to say I learned a lot from like
Nice.
the timing of questions and stuff, and like so you don't come off as too aggressive or too pressure or like trying to pressure them into selling it, essentially.
Yes. Yes. That's a really good takeaway, man.
Do you
That's
have
something that,
some advice on what constitutes being too aggressive versus like too passive?
hmm, gosh, that's a tough one, huh? Because there's so many variables.
Yeah.
It like one of the variables is like, what is the person like? Are they open or are they not?
Yeah.
Second thing is like, how much authority have you built before the call? Whether it's like you sending them resources or like someone on your team's already talked to them.
Mhm.
They know like you're the company. Like there's things like that that matter.
Okay.
Three would be like, how long have you been on the phone with this person? For sure, that's
Mhm.
like a big one. Um, Four would be like your tone and the tone that you're using. That's probably the biggest one. Like I feel like you can say almost anything with the right tone. Almost.
Sure.
So I would say that's probably the biggest one.
Okay.
And what is your how this is kind of the fifth and like the overarching theme of all of this
Hmm.
is the question that you're asking, how do they interpret your intentions? What do they think? Why do they think is the reason that you're asking the question? That's the most important.
Okay. So probably the key would be to make sure that you're expressing yourself, that you're phrasing these questions in a way that they can tell that you're operating in good faith.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly right. They don't want to feel like you're gathering ammo against them for later.
Hmm.
No, nobody does. Not just they,
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Right? Like nobody wants that.
Yeah.
We want genuine people to have like
Hmm.
genuine conversations with. And that's what we have to work on is by like all of these like things that we do, like talk about tone and talking about like ways to almost like I call them like softeners, like ways to soften the question.
Mm.
Some ways to soften a question is like, hey, just so I have some understanding, or like just so I have some more context here, like those kind of things before it. Sometimes for some reason, like if you give someone a reason as to why you're asking or doing something, sometimes
Mhm.
just out of curiosity feels, I think you'll hear that a lot. So like I used to say that a lot and I kind of tried to stop. And it's fine, but I think people almost don't like believe that, I think. They're like,
Yeah.
why are you curious? Curious about
Yeah.
what? You know, it's
Get
like,
to the point.
yeah, exactly. So it's like I think that those two phrases, context and like just have some understanding, it makes more
Sure.
sense. And I don't think people are gonna like push you away too much.
Okay. Well, and it also seems like if you ask the right push away questions, why haven't you
Yes.
listed with a realtor? Uh,
Yes.
why didn't you say yes to other investors? I think that
Mhm.
that helps to position you as you're interested in their well being and what's right for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I've something I've really worked on with my personality is like softening when I'm talking
Mhm.
even. Um, I can be very like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. Da, da, da. And it's like I've had to like learn to be like I feel like my role on that call with someone that their whole life is chaos is to be like the calming like peace for them
Yeah.
and certainty.
Hmm.
So it's like if they say something like man, things have been so stressful. It's like, man, how do y'all mean by stress? I'm cool, calm, collected. And it's
Hmm.
like being able to stop this foreclosure. I know you mentioned you want 30 days at home, so we could totally do that for you. Right. Like I'm just like super straight to the point, super certain. Like we'll get the foreclosure start for you. Like that will not be a problem. You will not have to worry
Hmm.
about that. Like I'm telling them all the things. Like I want them to feel like, oh, this guy's got me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. So anyways. And you can do that before you
And
do your
and
first deal. Like that's something you can practice. That you don't have to have 100 deals in your belt to feel certain.
yeah. Well, just think about too how that comes across to somebody who's in a foreclosure situation where they're staring down the barrel of losing their home in a week or two, and you come to them and you say, "Yes, we can stop it. Yes, we can get you a little bit more
Yes.
time in the house. Yes, we can get you set up so that you can find your next place that you're going to live." Just think
Mhm.
about how like, wow, what a lot of value I'm receiving from this transaction.
100%. And do two segues off that. I'm just gonna try to
Hmm.
do more little points that are sticking out to me. One, something we've been working on as a team is not upplaying the things that we're giving them.
Hmm.
Because when you upplay something, what do people naturally want to do? Downplay it.
Yeah.
And if you downplay it, what do people normally want to do? Right?
Yeah.
Like I know we're only giving you $50,000 or whatever it is. Like, no, that's a lot of money. That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, versus like, okay, so we're giving you a huge check. I mean, we're giving you a lot. We're giving you $50,000. And be like, well, I mean, the house is worth more. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you just, that's how it
Hmm.
works. So like be careful with that. You didn't do any of
Okay.
that. I'm just saying everyone on this call, like don't try
Hmm.
to your value, they can perceive your value already by
Yep.
the questions you ask. Yeah. So would anyone else like to like role play real quick? Anyone want to kind of go through this or we just have questions? Negotiation tactics, whatever.
Hey, man.
What's up,
Can
dude?
you hear me, bro?
Yeah, good to hear from
Yeah,
you.
yeah, I'm good. Thank you for asking. And hi,
Mhm.
Alex. Hi, everyone. Okay, so my question was, like, how do you deal with in situations where, like, the seller says, like, I'm not interested in selling. So how do you convert a no into a yes?
How do you convert a no into a yes? So a seller that does not want to sell their property into yes, I do want to sell.
Right, right, exactly.
You don't. Easy answer. You don't. What is our job? And this is a really, I'm glad you asked this. It's something that it took me a long time to figure out. And I think I'm still trying to figure it out and like remember it every day, right? My job is not to turn a no into a yes. It's to turn a maybe into a yes. Okay. Because there are a lot of people that are just saying no, and you're just wasting your time. That doesn't mean that you don't continue to follow up with them, right? That's fine. A no can turn into a maybe, right? Or a no can turn into a yes. But it's not going to be something most likely that you do all the time. Every once in a while. Okay. But you don't want to waste your time on those leads. The people that are a maybe, they have some probably genuine concerns, which is like people call objections. Same thing. Like you're concerned about something, you're not getting the value, you think whatever your objection is, right? It's our job to take those people through a process to give them the to give us the best chance to see if it makes sense for us to help them work together. That's it. And by the end of that call, if you've done all that and you ask them, hey, why don't you just listen with the realtor? And they're like, honestly, like, I think we could. And I'm like, why don't you just do that today? They're like, we probably will. Do you have a great realtor? It's like, yeah, sure. Okay. That's not your person.
That
Does
makes
that help
sense,
at all?
bro. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Good question.
And also, like, one thing, like, I was just hearing you guys because there is a noise here. That's why I've been muted myself. So one thing, like, I have learned very hard way. I just wanted to like say here is, whenever I'm talking to the sellers, or like, because
I think your food's ready or something. I don't know. Heard a bell. He's muted. We'll give him like 5 seconds because I think he's that's so funny. What was that? It sounded like a train.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like
oh,
a
okay. So
handbell or
there was
something.
a word. I'm actually sleeping with my grandmother, you know.
Oh,
So,
okay. You're good, bro. What was your
so
question?
yeah. So yeah. So the thing, what I learned, because I was trying to cold call people, like sometimes, back. Then I would like to like keep coming back to the same thing, like for example, hey, Mr. Honor, like even if we agreed to move further from here, or so like definitely, because I'm not the only person who is calling those people, and even after we come up with any agreement, there are so many callers or like investors like us, they're gonna call them again and again.
Yes. Right.
So they may give some more lucrative offers better than us, you know.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's possible that seller may change their mind. Like they will say like, oh, this offer is looking more good to me. I'm just going to sit with Alex, not Shashwat, right? So
Yeah.
I'd like to make it sure, like exactly on the phone, like if you have even if you have a second thought, like you could take some good offers from other people. So I would like to stop our conversation here, because I'm going to invest so much time to prepare all those agreements and paperwork, and
Okay.
then you will say like we won't do that. So that was like, that's my takeaway only.
Gotcha. I think I understand what you're saying. I like sometimes there's other offers going to be given to them, maybe, or you're competing against other offers. If I understood the question right, or at
Yeah,
least the
right,
thought. Okay,
right.
yeah. And this is actually a good. I'm glad you brought this up, because this is something that we deal with a lot. We have other people that are like, yeah, I'm talking to this other investor. They said this, talking to this person, this and that, right? And ultimately, It comes down to, do they believe that you're the person that can solve their problem? Also, do they believe that you're the person that understands their problem the most clearly? That's what precedes, can you solve their problem? So do they feel like you took the time to understand the situation? Two, do they feel like you actually are confident or certain or qualified, whatever you want to say, enough to do that? Most of the time, you can become the authority figure or more qualified by just asking the right questions, not so much pitching yourself, right? You can tell when someone's good at what they do by the questions they ask you and the way they carry themselves. So that's
So
a big thing.
in order to begin with asking right questions and just start getting the actual motivation behind the curtain, so what
Mhm.
question would be that you'll start asking from, like, because I have heard some people who start with asking occupancy question, like, is the property is occupied or something like that.
Yeah.
So like, so how would you do that?
We start really simple. Hey, just tell me a little bit about the property and just kind of what you got going on. Because it allows them to either tell you about the property or tell you what they got going on with it. Usually it's a mix of them. And what they got going on with it could be divorce. It could be I got this from my mom. It could be I'm in foreclosure. It could be anything. Right. So I like to leave that open. And then later on, we kind of try to branch. Like I think about it. I've said this before. Think about it like a tree. So the conversation is like a big tree, right? And when you're going up a conversation, you're going to question one, they say something, and you're going to branch off a little bit. Well, what does that mean? Or like, how do you mean by stress? They branch off. Okay, and then off that, you may branch off a little more. How long has that been going on for? Boom, you branch. But at some point, you got to come back to the tree. Then I got to go to question two,
Yeah.
right? And then you're going up, right? So that's what I would start with, if that answers your question. And then I did want to talk about when you have competing offers, don't be afraid to talk to them about the offers. So like if you're at $100,000, that's where you think you got to be. And the other offers are at 180 or one's at 180, right? And that's the one they're talking about. Number one, I'd ask them like, okay, like you mentioned you have an offer of 180. Have you gotten any other offers? Yeah, we got a few more. Oh, what were the other ones coming in at? Oh, about where you're at, 100,000, 100, that's usually how it goes, right? And maybe they just have one more, but either way, like I think that's a good thing to pivot from. It's like, hmm, is there any reason why you feel like this guy can pay like $80,000 more than everyone else? Well, I don't know. To be honest with you, Alex, I don't know either. And that scares me. I don't know if it scares you, but I've been doing this a long time. And then you kind of go into it. I've been doing this a long time. And one of the things that we see sadly, and look, and here's where you want to give them credit. This is not where you want to take it away. This is what I talk about downplaying. So it's like you always want to have these little things that you give them. This is like super nuanced and like super important. You don't want them to be defensive, right? So if I say, Alex, this is not real. I don't know what's in. What is Alex gonna do? Well, no, I mean we talked the other day. He was fine, and so I'm not gonna go that route, right? I'm gonna be for a second. So we want to go into something like Alex. Look, I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you like most of the time, and this may not be the case. This regular credit, this may not be the case. Maybe this guy's great. I don't know, but generally, when someone's offering 70, $80,000 over what I can pay or other investors, usually they're just trying to tell you whatever they physically can to get you to say yes. They get you under contract. And then a day or two before closing, they call you up and say, hey, we can't do this price. We'll help you out, but we'll give you 5 grand. And so I think for you, the question I'd have for you, Alex, is like, what do you feel like is riskier for you? So I would go into this question, right? Do you feel like it's riskier for you to, and we're always going to start with like the negative first. Do you feel like it's riskier for you to maybe take the higher number on paper? And notice I said number on paper. It's like this may not be real. Do you feel like
Yeah.
it's more important, riskier for you to take the highest like number on paper? And like what did my tone do? I'm trying to like give examples here. Like on paper, like I'm kind of questioning it. And you know, like maybe risk them coming back and asking you to buy it at the payoff or for $5,000 and that point, it's kind of you're stuck in a hole. Maybe you lose the house, like that's the first option. Or two, I guess, do you feel like it's riskier for us to have a conversation about what number is actually realistic on the front end so that you know exactly what you're going to walk away with at the closing table, no surprises, and we can get this foreclosure stopped? Like for you, what do you feel like is riskier? How many of y'all would have a hard time answering that question and saying that the second one's riskier? I would. And that's the point, right? Well, I feel like, I mean, the way you framed it, some people will say that. Most people don't. But some people will say, well, I mean, you framed it in a way where it's like, well, okay. I mean, do you feel like I framed it that way, or is that actually like reality? I, I can look, I can always go buy another house. Like that's not a big deal. I'm just trying to shoot you straight. I'm trying to tell you what I feel like is real. So what do you feel like is real? Right? We're not gonna let people just walk over. We're also gonna be kind, right? We don't want to be mean. Gotta have people to see reality. Does that help?
Yeah, that's like amazing response, bro. Thank you so much.
Dude, for sure. Anything else before we hop off here? Any other thoughts? Thank y'all for spending your Thursday. I think today's Thursday, right?
It is.
Thanks for spending your Thursday with me and getting to hang out and talk. I really look forward to this every week. Getting to like spend time with y'all, and I don't know. I want y'all to be able to grow your business to the levels you want. And while I'm trying to do the same, I don't have all the answers figured out. I definitely figuring out a lot right now. We hired our first two people on salary, which is like pretty
Nice.
fun and like scary at the same time. And so we got 5 people on our team now, which is crazy. Like I
Way
never
to
thought
go.
that would ever happen. Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. Um, thank you. But so that's been really exciting, and I think I'm learning a little bit more about leadership, and I'm excited to share some of those things, especially as y'all like start to build out, maybe getting your first hire or building out a team, like so things like I just want to be able to do this with the community that like is actually invested in wanting to like grow their business and build wealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did have one question. Earlier, you talked about how your job isn't to make somebody go from a no to a yes. Your job is to make somebody go from a maybe to a yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you've noticed would maybe if somebody seems like they're a no, but they're secretly a maybe?
That's
That
a good
makes sense?
question. Yes. I agree with you. When I said that, I was like, well, there's some no's that are more of like a maybe. Um, man, because in the foreclosure world, it is different. And that's the difference. I think that like most of the sellers that people in here are going to be talking to are no's and like I'm not selling my house. I just have no problems. But a no for somebody that has a problem is different. Because a no for someone that has a problem that has a timeline, that is a maybe.
They're like a maybe by default because of the
Yes. Yes.
time constraint,
That's a that's
basically.
a that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
And then maybe
Yeah.
then the trick with somebody who, let's just keep the scope narrowed to foreclosure, somebody who's in a foreclosure who's saying, no, I'm not selling. The trick is to say, like, help them recognize that if they choose to do nothing, that they're going to lose everything
Yeah.
and do so
Yeah.
in a way that's, not being a jerk about it, for lack of a better term.
Totally. You're good at that. So it's like just gotta keep pushing on it. Great clarification. I'm glad you said that actually. Makes me look a little less stupid, so appreciate it. Cool, man. All right. Thanks for being here, dude. I'm excited about hanging on Monday, right?
Yes.
Let's go, dude. I'm gonna show you the Padrone, dude. I'll put you on.
Now we're talking.
All right. Y'all have a good rest of your week.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All
You
right.
too, man.
Thank y'all for being
See
here.
y'all.
All right. See ya.